Hi there, it's Jennifer Huff here. It is day 298. No, it's not. It's day 16. And welcome to well needed finding peace in times of great change. You know, it's really amazing how much we're all being affected by the shifts in the energies in this world. Even today, something that Adam and I have been noticing in traffic in Asheville because of the recent hurricane, but even because of the political, atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. What's been really fascinating is that there have been more accidents. People are a little bit more on edge. People are definitely being affected. And so tonight I am doing Finding Peace in Times of Great Change. So I want to use tonight as a perfect example of what happens when you find peace in times of great change. So one of the things that so tonight, let me just give you an idea of what tonight is all about first, day 16. It's about truly pragmatic examples of how to find peace, even when things seem like mayhem, or people are reactive, or life isn't going the way that you plan. And exactly what Adam just said, that they're being driven by fear and confusion. And by the way, we're going to bring Adam live one of the other nights. Hopefully Adam and Jeannie, and Adam or Jeannie, they're so brilliant. We could have either of them on. But I want to talk a little bit tonight, and maybe Adam will chat with me in the comments about this as well. And please put your name down, where you're hailing from, and what your word is for today, if you can. So imagine we're bipping along, and we think that we have plenty of time, for instance, to get here at 5:55. And the traffic, Asheville doesn't really have traffic, to tell you the honest truth. But the traffic is so weird. It's busy. It's intense. There are little accidents everywhere. And it's going to take us almost an hour to get home. And I thought to myself, well, that doesn't feel really good. And then Adam said, I'm ready. I'm ready when you are. And so finding peace in that moment, because the only way you can find solutions is to actually find peace, not in reactivity, not in eye twitchiness, not in, oh my God, I'm carrying the weight of the world, right? And as Adam said, you can absolutely be anywhere in 15 minutes, but not tonight. So there are the pragmatic everyday issues of what happens when that happens, or what happens when somebody triggers you in a way that you weren't expecting. Maybe you never get triggered, but because there's so much shifting in the world and the nervous system is on overload. And then when the nervous system is on overload, we go back into our amygdala, then we go into fight or flight, and we start to get controlling, or we start to hope to find safety. And I could feel as I was talking to Adam, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to miss tonight or skip tonight or miss our time. And then I looked at my friend Jeannie, who was in the car, who's here with me. And all of a sudden I dropped into this space. We dropped into it together, and it's like, what's possible? There's a way. And so I want you to hear the process. The process is either I'm going to go into the problem and go, oh well, we're not going to do it. We're going to be, Adam's eye is going to twitch, and then we're not going to make it home. And I could carry Adam's upset if I wanted to, but there's no point in doing that, right? So then I think to myself, well, whenever there's a problem, there's always a solution. I have no idea what it is. I'm driving. And then what happens? I mean, you have to understand in the laws of physics, a problem cannot exist without multiple solutions for millions of people at the same time. So think of what's happening in the world and think of my story right now as a microcosm for the greater macrocosm of what's going on in the world. You get what I'm saying? And Marsha Black, welcome. And so, how can I, after 14 days of just pure bliss and flow with all of you, how can I be my car after doing something so fun, like preparing for the embodiment workshop, going shopping with my friend? There's nothing more fun. How could it be possible that I would miss this? We planned, we would have, all told, no problem getting home. All of a sudden, because we decided not to engage the issue, not to engage the problem, not to engage the energy, not to even engage the energy of the traffic and the people in the traffic who are probably also thinking, how do I get home? And, dinner's probably waiting for me and all the things that people think, especially in Asheville, since it doesn't happen. People are going, what is going on? So then all of a sudden it comes. We have a friend around the corner, and the friend around the corner is just at the next exit. So we get off at the next exit. She has her office, which I am in right now. She has a little stand for the phone, which I am using right now. She has it's a beautiful scenario with windows and great lighting, as you can see. And here we are. I said to Jeannie, can you download StreamYard onto my phone because you need the software? Lo and behold, there's the software. And in less than, I don't know, what would you say, Jeannie, 7 minutes? In less than 7 minutes, we had StreamYard downloaded to the phone. And we were able to jump on with Adam with great lighting. And Adam's just telling us that he didn't cook, just saying he thought we were bringing chicken wings. Don't worry, sweetie. We will bring you some chicken wings. We will call Twisted Laurel and get some just chicken wings. So you guys, you might think, oh yeah, but Jennifer, you're special somehow, or you teach this stuff, or, I'm not. I promise you, I can get just as triggered as anybody else. However, I would say that I'm well practiced. I could have made a choice. So in the moment, there was a choice to be made. And am I literally going to be like the rest of humanity? And I tell you, and you guys know this, when you actually let yourself get triggered, so think of it like going to a radio station where all things triggered are. So right now, what happens when we all get triggered? What happens is our mood goes down to the frequency, to the megahertz of an entire radio station for humanity where everyone is triggered. And you can imagine how many more people are triggered right now. So it's not only that you're tuning into your own annoyance or frustration or anxiety, but now you're on the station where you're attuned to the actual triggering of humanity. And when you're at the frequency of the triggering of humanity, you also start to pick up on everyone else's triggeredness. So now it's not just yours that you're tuning into, you're also hooking into not yours. You're hooking into everybody else's eye twitchiness. So now you're exponentiated versus if it was years ago. Years ago, you would have been just, you would have been triggered kind of in your own little bubble of triggeredness. But now what's happened is it's being exponentiated by those around you. So Adam tells me that triggeredness is not a word. But today, because I pulled this one out of my cosmic behind, it's now a word. Look at that. I pulled that one out too. So, guys, is this to say, is this to say, can you hear me now? Did you turn on the car? Okay, you went in the car. That's what happened. It got on the Bluetooth. The car? Yeah, it got on the Bluetooth there. So can you hear me now? Are you guys okay to hear me now? Yes. Okay, good. So don't do anything with it. I just Okay, good. That's what happened. By the way, that's another one of those moments where literally you just went on my car Bluetooth. Isn't that fun? So all these things can happen. I could be taken out, but you got to get you guys. That's what this is like living, breathing example because my car is just outside of this door. Think of this like a living, breathing example of what is going to happen in this world for the years to come. There will be so many things that you could engage, so many things that could make your eye twitch, so many things that we could be taken out by. And even though it seems really hard sometimes, you have to build enough organ cushion, which is what I was getting to before the mic disconnected. You have to do the exercises frequently enough. I was speaking with Whitney the other day, which I think was 3 days ago. So it's probably on the 11th, 11th or 12th. And when we were speaking, we were talking about the organ cushion, meaning how much cushion do you have to have things happen such that you don't get triggered? In other words, you have enough room to be able to kind of not have your eye twitch. You can just remain present. How do you create that cushion so you don't live your life in reactivity or constantly need to hide? Or as someone was saying today, we were doing a prep class for the embodiment workshop, and she said, I just need to be frivolous for a couple of days where I just don't have any responsibilities. But you see, you guys, when you carry life, It puts pressure on your nervous system. And just because you've been able to do a lot previous to now, it's time to get divinely intolerant, much more discerning about what you take on and what you do not take on. Because as you start taking on stuff, you need to expand your organ cushion, because already your organ cushion has pressure on it from people worried about the environment, from people around, holiday season coming up. Well, holiday season already began if you're Jewish, or if you're Muslim. So you could have, all the familial time, all of this stuff. There's a new year, there's a new president in the United States. All of these things are huge, massive shifts. And it doesn't matter if you think you're not being affected, the environment in which you swim is being affected. And quite frankly, we were talking about this today in the prep class for embodiment as well. The 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 quantum field has to rearrange itself to provide us the basis and the operating system for moving into a new time of great change. So even the quantum field that you're used to being able to dance with the same way you always do, that field is rearranging itself to start to support what's coming. And so this is a time of huge reset. This is not a time to make big changes. Our organ cushions are being squeezed, is what I'm saying. And you have to understand that it's time to have a lot of grace for yourself, a lot of grace for other people in your life that may not realize that they're being affected by the energies. And finally, every day, hourly, if you wish, some of these exercises, and I think Dr. Turpin as well, who is from the Pearl Institute, explained the other day that practicing the square breathing that he talked about, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. Doing that starts to train you to know that even as soon as you start the breathing, you are going to eventually get out of your amygdala or fight or flight, and you are going to access your prefrontal cortex, where you have rationality and ideas can come and peace can come. However, thank you, Adam. Day 14, that was Dr. Raymond Turpin. He's a trauma therapist, by the way, so I highly recommend you go and listen to that. The share today is a pragmatic example of being in traffic, understanding how my brain works and your brain works, understanding how the laws of physics work for you and I. We're no different. And making enough organ cushion so that there is spaciousness enough to make a choice not to engage when things are a little off. And in the making of that choice, the solution was clear. We ended up at beautiful Karen Renee's house, and her graciousness had us prepped to be able to do what we need to do. And here we are, and I'm so grateful to her. Yeah. So guys, every day you can go to YouTube, or you can go to facebook.com/Wide Awakening, or you can go to LinkedIn/Jennifer Huff at 5:55 and join us just to come down. Tomorrow we have another beautiful guest with us. It's going to be so much fun. Can't wait to share her with you. Also, I just confirmed our last day, the 21st day. Well, it may not be the last day, but right now the last day is day 21, which is a little under 6 days from now. So, and I'm excited. I'm excited for tomorrow to share another favorite person with you. I'm excited to be present enough to feel the gratitude for my husband, for my dear friend Karen Renee, for my dear friend Jeannie. I want you to know that starting tomorrow is the embodiment workshop. We set the stage for it. It's all about these times of great change and making permanent cellular shifts such that your organ cushion grows so big that you just don't get taken out. And then you have the entire operating system for this evolved way to plug into life, so that not only do these times of great change not take you out, you actually have the capacity to be available for the opulence and the opportunities that come. Imagine that change in beingness. Imagine if you could do that. So make sure that if it tickles your fancy at all, you're going to be together with like minds Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Or you could even sign up and listen to the recording if you want, but it's so good. We had the best prep call today with our early bird people. It was so good. So join us if your heart is called. Last but not least, I'm going to sum this all up. If you feel that often, okay, often when you get into situations where your eye twitches or you react or you're overwhelmed or you behave in a way that you know it's like suboptimal and it's not where your heart is, but your amygdala, your fight or flight just takes over. If you find that happens, it means that your organ cushion is still overwhelmed with things from the past and protective mechanisms, safety mechanisms, control mechanisms, that your system is overwhelmed such that you only have this much room to play. If one little thing happens, then you go over the edge of the cliff, right? Or if two little things happen, you go over the edge of the cliff. To grow your organ cushion is to actually increase your capacity to be able to handle many things and still remain in neutrality or joy or possibility. And growing your organ cushion, most people would think that that equals I have to excavate all the things that are crushing my nervous system that I don't even know are there. In fact, one of the greatest things you can do is to two-pronged. One is daily to do something to actually expand your organ cushion, but that doesn't make a permanent cellular shift. However, I highly recommend it. This is what we're talking about in these 21 days. We're doing all these things to start to realize that we can have that greater capacity. And the second thing is to actually do the practices and understand the thriving operating system so that you get way out ahead of everything that's happening in the world and you make a permanent cellular shift in how you plug into the world itself. Okay, that's what we're doing in embodiment. And one of the things that I would recommend is reading my book Unstuck. It will help you a lot. Reading, I kind of like the audio version myself. So please, if you haven't bought that, it's all over Amazon. You can find it, and that's a great way to expand your organ cushion. Do the exercises in the book. Okay. All right, you guys. I love you. For the rest of the time of these 21 days, we are wide open. It's just so yummy. You don't have that slide. My husband's such a ham. I love you, Adam. So, okay, you guys, we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you for being here again tonight. I would love to hear if you're watching this on YouTube. You can follow us and like us. And I would love it if you guys could make some comments on what you got out of tonight. I'm really hoping that there's a few people that'll say something like, "Oh my God, that's exactly what I needed to hear." Right? All right. All right. I love you guys so much. Biggest hugs ever. Mwah, and hugs. And yeah, game on. Let's keep going. Let's keep expanding that organ cushion. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Can't wait for tomorrow night. You're going to love the person I have on.